Hello, my bin chickens, my bin birdies, my ibises. I hope you've had your good quantity of bin deuce tonight. Tonight, that's right, tonight. We're flying out of Japan tonight. We're very sad because we've had such a good time. It's been amazing, honestly. But as a summary, because these last few days we haven't done anything worthwhile as to record, so we're going to do a little summary here about what we really enjoyed, what we didn't enjoy, food we liked, places to go to, that sort of thing. So I'll start with probably my favourite place, I would say, was, Tokyo was fantastic, but mainly I really enjoyed Akihabara. I loved Akihabara because, as a nerd, it's the place where you really want to go with like the manga, the anime. There's like so much variety of stuff you can get there, and they sort of cater to everyone, so I love that. But I would say my absolute favourite place that we went was Hakone. Hakone was a real change from the usual, what you expect with Japan, like super high tech and, you know, but they love the traditional, but like still high tech and everything. But near Hakone, we were literally in a normal style old Japanese house. We had Japanese style breakfast and dinners, miso soup, all that shebang. It was filmed on my channel, check it out.
I agree. I think I liked Hakone as well, away from the hustle and bustle. Not that that's anything bad, because it was good to experience that as well. Harajuku and Akihabara was awesome as well. Really good stuff. Unfortunately, the sky tree wasn't very good. Unfortunately, the weather was rubbish.
Yeah.
So we couldn't see anything. However, the restaurant that we were in was marvellous.
Yeah.
Just 100%. Awesome.
Yeah, I documented that on my channel as well, that, you know, we couldn't see anything in Skytree, it was just void. But even then, if it wasn't void, I feel like the price is just a little bit too much. I understand they have to pay for it and everything like that, but some of the places aren't air conditioned. The tallest point that you really want to go to, it's not air conditioned, so you're just sweating in a glass box 500 feet in the air. So it's
a lot of people.
And a lot of people, a lot of prams. I know you can't help that, but just like it's quite squishy for what it is. I'm sure in the future it'll gradually get better and better and better and better, but just for what it is at the moment, it's probably not really worth it. Maybe go check out our Tokyo Tower. We didn't go check that out because we just ran out of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe just go check that out instead.
Tokyo is wonderful. It's nice to see the amount of people there. 37 million people in one city is just out of control. You're just something you just can't get used to.
Yeah, no.
However, they're so polite and beautiful. There's no drama. You might get pushed around a little bit when they're crowded, but apart from that, they're all very.
There's always a sumimasen if they run into you or anything like that, and they're happy to move for you if you've got bags and stuff. We really encountered nothing bad ultimately in this whole trip.
No.
But so what about?
Well, the only thing we did experience was something you're not accustomed to in Australia. Was when we were on the trains, we saw messages come up saying that there was a human incident, and we saw 3 of them. We didn't see them, but we saw them notified.
Yeah.
That tracks were shut down due to a human incident.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that was sort of a bit disheartening, but. I won't focus on that too much because YouTube doesn't like the use of the S word, so we won't discuss that. But yeah, it's you do see it sometimes, so that's just a heads up. If you do travel to Japan and you're on the train, that's another point. When you come to Japan, most of your holiday will be spent on the train. You'll be on a train for almost all of it. It's fantastic, don't get me wrong, but if you suffer from motion sickness like me, don't sit on your phone. You'll get sick because they go so fast and it's quite jerky, and sometimes they're crowded so it gets warm. So just be aware that you'll be on a train quite a lot, and the distance isn't very far when you're just traveling around the city, say like Kyoto, Osaka, Tokyo, just going to a temple, it's not too far. But if you're doing a long distance, it gets very hot, very crowded, but then they'll come and go, sort of thing. But yeah, it's
great.
Yeah,
I haven't experienced London, whereas Amelia has. So it's just fantastic systems. So quick, on time, no delays, fast. People know what's going on. So much information within the train itself, telling you where you are and how many stops to go. They actually use numbers. So fantastic.
Yeah, each line has like I think about 20 stops, so each line has a colour, and each
Circuit.
stop is numbered. So yeah,
It's basically a circuit. You can stay on it and end up in the same place you started.
well, that's with Shinjuku. Some of them are a bit different. They sort of weave in and out, but really fantastic, honestly. So what about in Osaka? What was your favourite thing there?
Food.
Food, yeah.
Food was great. We've eaten so much.
We've eaten way too much food. It's been fantastic.
However, we've clocked up 250 k's walking, so we've compensated.
Yeah.
Chewed thousands of calories up.
Yeah, I know. Walked heaps. But yeah, I'd say that Osaka is definitely lives up to its name of Japan's
Food.
kitchen.
Yep.
There's so much food. Every stop is not a shop, it's a restaurant. Like there's restaurants
Food
out
everywhere.
of people's houses. We were walking the back streets with our guide, and this little old lady had just a cafe in her house where she just made you tea and cake. Like we didn't go to it, but like she was just there. Like it's food, and they love food. Like it's so authentic and delicious.
Reasonably
would-
simple too.
I would say with Osaka though, there's something to be aware if you come to Tokyo first. When you go to Osaka, they shut early. So we, being the party animals that we are, we thrived in Tokyo because everything sort of shuts around midnight. The bars and stuff, like shops are
Well,
shut
keep
about
going,
10ish. But yeah, the bars keep going.
Doesn't stop. in
It doesn't
Tokyo.
stop. Like Tokyo doesn't sleep at all. Like at 2 a.m. once we were in our room, just sipping some beers, and there was still traffic on the road.
Oh.
So it doesn't stop. But Osaka, that shuts really early. I'm going to have to stop this because Ghostbusters is going to copyright us.
We're back.
Hello, welcome back. Ghostbusters is over now. So, yeah, we're just going to speak loudly over any other copyright music, but I just know that, yeah, Ghostbusters definitely will be picked up by the censors. Queen might be too, but, you know, it's
Keep
fine.
talking.
We'll just keep talking. So, about Kyoto, Dad. Tell me about Kyoto. Was it good?
Yeah, it was great. It was bloody hot.
No.
We got burnt. Great. No, it's a walking town. It's pretty flat.
Oh,
There's
it's
only
so
a few
flat.
small inclines here and there, but some history there, definitely. Lots of kimonos.
It's very much like Melbourne, I'd say. Like, Melbourne is like a square.
Yeah, up and
Kyoto
down.
is literally a square. So it's really easy to get around, really easy to get from point A to point B, just with walking. You don't have to get a train, but it is quite a bit of a walk, I would say. To get places, we did like, what, 200?
Oh, no,
20,
I think
no.
we did 25,000
Yeah,
steps that day.
25,000 steps. Because our guide was just a
He was a
speedster. He was just
speedster, yeah.
running. I was like,
Poor old Millie was battling.
I'm little, okay? And baby. And baby. I can't catch up, okay? Might have long legs, but I got a short torso, so it makes up with the distance as a baby. Sorry. Actual baby. But yeah, so I definitely recommend Kyoto if you want history.
Yeah.
History, it's full, like, to the brim of history.
And yet, quite old history. We're talking like 1,000 years old.
1,000
things.
years old.
One of the shops we were trying to get into have some special cakes or sweets.
Sweet rice cake.
That's right. Unfortunately, it was closed. But they've been around for 1,000 years. The
Yeah.
same family, just unbelievable.
Yeah, like generation upon generation has just owned that shop. Like, there's so much ingrained history in that town. It's fantastic. Like, everywhere you turn, there is a building that's probably 200 years old, 400 years old. Yeah.
Minimum 400.
Minimum 400 years old.
We're
Like,
talking stuff that's in the 1600s.
yeah,
It's just
1600s.
Unbelievable stuff. You can't fathom it.
They have fantastic artifacts as well and everything. Like, if that's your thing. It was in, Kyoto as well, where we saw the samurai armors and everything.
Oh.
Yeah, so they've got like real authentic samurai armor, paintings from the period, writing from the period,
Yeah,
which
running
is
writing.
written in old Japanese.
Yeah.
It's old Japanese, so even modern Japanese people can't read it.
Struggle.
Check out my video on that. It's under like the Kyoto, cruising Kyoto. Check that out. But yes, it blows your mind
it's
how
unbelievable.
there's history everywhere you turn. It reminded me a little bit of England in that sort of sense, like, but even better. Because with England, you sort of go to London, there's like castles everywhere, that sort of thing. You turn left, turn right, there's a castle to go explore. There's an old building over here. But for Japan, it's like just even older. It just feels so much more ancient, I guess, because it was feudal.
Yeah, plus
like
being the
feudal
capital
Japan.
for hundreds and hundreds of years,
Yeah.
it's got a lot of character.
There's so much character to it. Like it's just beautiful, honestly. Just gonna move, just gonna adjust a little bit. There we go. Someone's eating their dinner. How about Hakone? Tell me some good things about Hakone, because we both said that was the best part of our trip ultimately. Let's talk a little bit about Hakone.
Well, the first day we arrived, couldn't get into the room straight away, the usual story, but that's fine. So we just had to make do. It was raining.
It was raining.
We had umbrellas, which was cool, but once we found the hotel and our names were on the front of the wall, written in chalk in that was fun. And then we went, because there's nothing else to do, we had to go for a wander.
Yeah.
Plus we were a little thirsty and hungry, so we found a little shop that was open, or cafe, sorry.
Yeah.
Very real deal, authentic
Yeah.
Japanese, of course.
It was yakiniku. So you fried the meat on the thing. That's where we had the bottom flaps. That's linked in a video. I think it might be called Hakone We're Here. If not, I'll just put it on the screen here what it's called. So go check that out. I documented that whole meal, some of the adventures we had just waiting for the hotel to open up, basically.
Yeah, so we wandered around, found a little temple,
a shrine, a Shinto shrine. We had a prayer. So basically, once it hit 3 o'clock, we walked all the way back. We had some beers, which was great. So we made it all the way back into our hotel, which we found that was like almost 4,000 years old or something.
It's crazy.
Like something like 400 years old at the building. Obviously, it had been repaired since and everything like that. But as a hot spring location, it was almost like a ridiculous age. Like it was old, very, very old. It was fantastic though, because all the architecture in the actual onsen itself was very 1920s, like very 1920s style, while the outside was very feudal Japan-esque.
Yep.
Nice
timber.
Yeah, so it smelt so fantastic, like really fresh wood and everything. When it rained, obviously it smelt more woody. So you had to take your shoes off when you got there. We got house shoes.
Yeah.
It was great. And all the flooring is either wooden or tatami.
Yeah.
So
great.
it
And
smells a lot like birdseed.
Yeah, it does. And the room is the real deal again, with the sliding paper doors. And
Mentioned in this video here. Put it here, please.
fantastic. So really, really good feeling to have. And then you're in nature. You're bang in nature, and it's birds, crickets. Crickets are so loud. There's so many varieties.
There's
We
3
found
different
one.
types of cricket. That was a cicada.
Cicada, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, cicada landed on Dad's chest. And it was really like this big, huge, and it was
Huge.
just like screaming. But yeah, it was fantastic because you just smack bang in the middle of nature, and then you go outside because we had the special room because we are tatted up, so we can't go into the normal onsen. So we had like separate times in the private onsen because they didn't really allow double sexes in there, sort of thing. So we went in there, it was great, hot, finished that, but then in our room we had a private one, so we just took turns getting in and out of that one.
But we were right on the back of a stream that was
river, more
running,
like it,
running
yeah.
like a beauty. It was just marvellous.
So you can hear in the background in some of those Hakone videos when I open the door, is that roar, that's literally the river, like right next door to it.
It's great.
It was a beautiful experience, and honestly, I couldn't have asked for anything better. Like, I'm glad we got to have that authentic Japanese experience with the child. I'm sorry. Just want some ice cream. Don't we all? We all love ice cream. Other than that, I think that probably summarizes our whole trip. We came out to Tokyo. We met up with a good friend of ours who we met 9 years ago, surprisingly, when she came over to Australia as a teacher. So it was really great to meet her and her family again.
And I guess finally, Hiroshima was moving, very, very bloody emotional.
Dad didn't want to be on camera at the end because he was crying.
It was awful. Well, awful in the sense of what the atrocity of it all.
Yeah.
But then, coming through, you're learning how some people survived. Obviously, a lot died. But however, some survived and made it through and continued on, as they all have to. Can't just stop. And, it's a fantastic city now. Absolute fantastic.
It's huge now. One thing that we learnt from our lovely guide, because she wasn't born in Hiroshima, but she's lived there for quite a while. She said to us that because the whole city was decimated, like rubble, is that they had the chance to widen their roads. So Hiroshima is the only city in Japan with like really wide roads. Like you can tell the difference when you're trying to cross them too. You're like trying to like cross them because they're like so wide. Like, compared to Tokyo, the roads are like this big. Like, they're
Very
so small,
small.
but Hiroshima roads are quite substantial because they had the chance to rebuild. They had the chance to build taller buildings. They had the chance to build like really strong.
Nice architecture.
Yeah, but strong structures too. Big thing to see there, obviously, is the museum. You'll cry. It's very hard to see. But then you go to the Peace Park and you feel a lot better. And then definitely check out the shrines and temples and the castle Hiroshima.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep going. It's 6 stories high.
Yeah,
It's
it's
massive.
huge.
There's a whole big museum in there documenting the feudal history of Hiroshima,
Yeah.
which is something that not a lot of people talk about because obviously Hiroshima is known for the unfortunate nuclear bomb. And then if you go to a particular shrine, put the name here, you can check out the Torii Gate that survived the bombing. It's a beautiful gate. You can feel our guide gave it a big hug because you can feel the sheer energy that it took to withstand that sheer amount of heat that the bomb put off. 4,000 degrees of heat, and still that gate stood. Like, it's made of granite, and yeah, I understand that, but there were granite buildings that just fell.
Yep.
And cooked from inside. So that Torii Gate to stand up that tall, like, it was something to really see. And also you see the trees that have survived.
as well.
You can tell they're mutated, but they're still beautiful. They're really
energy.
blooming.
Yeah.
They're just a little bit bent, but they're beautiful. Like, so definitely check out Hiroshima if you've got time. Other than that, Dad, what else would you say you want to check out?
All of it.
All of it.
No, I loved it. It was a fantastic journey, trip, all the way around. It was good.
We had a fantastic time.
Nice to be back in Tokyo for a day and a bit, see our friends, and finish off with a beer. Cheers.
Cheers.
Kanpai.
Kanpai. I'll see you back at home. Bye, bin birdies.